Welcome back. You with the NCN 6 o'clock news. Police have arrested one person in connection with the shooting of environmentalist Alicia Foster. This is according to Acting Police Commissioner Henry Green, who said the force is leaving no stone unturned in this killing. Here are details.
Acting Police Commissioner Henry Green, prior to the start of the police annual awards ceremony today, said the police have made some headway into the killing of Alicia Foster. Foster is the environmentalist who was gunned down Sunday last in front of her David Street home.
Picked up a suspect this morning who we were interrogating at this time to see what evidence we may be able to produce from him. I can't tell you where that is at this point in time, but I know somebody fitting the description that was given to us was arrested this morning.
Around 22 hours Sunday last, the 26-year-old woman was shot in the face by one of her three men who escaped in her car. Police later recovered the woman's car in South Rainveld. Meanwhile, the commissioner has refuted allegations by embattled magistrate Gordon Gilhouse that the police are targeting him. This comment comes after he was slapped with several traffic-related charges on October 2 last.
Well, I don't know if the police force caused Mr. Gilhouse to have an accident. I don't know if the police force caused Mr. Gilhouse to be involved in an incident in Woodford Avenue. Police we have our job to do. Are we to turn the blind eye when things are happening? Is it that Mr. Gilhouse feels we should not question him? Any person who comes under the microscope has to be dealt with in accordance with law. We have nothing against Mr. Gilhouse. He's invited to all our functions. He's a former officer, gentleman that we love. So it's just that we do what we have to do in accordance with law.
Gilhouse, prior to the recent traffic-related issues, has been in the center of a major shooting incident involving a policeman. He was not charged for that incident, but has since been off the bench. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
The National Assembly has paved the way for 3 new bills to become law, further strengthening the local judicial system. The House last evening passed the plea bargain and paper committals bill unopposed, while the video and audio evidence bill was passed with opposition from the PNCR and AFC. Edward Lane reports.
After hours of intense debate, the ruling PPPC managed to get the House to approve the 3 bills. The first legislation was the Evidence Amendment Bill, which seeks to make video and audio evidence presented to court admissible. Attorney General Dudnot Singh, who tabled the bill, said the law will speed up the trials and facilitate evidence by witnesses outside of the jurisdiction. His presentation was supported by Human Services Minister Priya Manik Chand and Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi.
If in the judgment of the administration, it is felt that the place to start is in the magistrate courts, then so be it.
However, both the PNCR and Alliance for Change condemned aspects of the legislation, saying it is aimed at depriving these accused of fundamental rights. Both AFC Camarade Ramjatan and PNCR's Clarissa Reel proposed that the bill be amended to exclude the accused, but this was not accepted and the bill was passed. Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi later moved the second reading of the Criminal Procedure Bill, which paved the way for plea bargaining and plea agreement. This bill found the full support of all the parties and after some debate was unanimously agreed to. The House also unanimously agreed on the Criminal Law Procedure Bill or Paper Committal Bill last evening. This legislation allows for magistrates conducting a preliminary inquiry to admit as evidence on the part of the prosecution any statements, writings, documents and other articles in the absence of a witness. These bills were part of a communique signed by CARICOM heads during a Special Crime and Security Summit in Trinidad last April. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
Statistics released by the fire department state that 33 buildings were destroyed by fire from August 1, 2008 to present. Some 18 of these buildings were completely destroyed by fire, while 10 have been severely damaged and 5 others were slightly damaged. The fire department says this is alarming, especially as investigations have revealed that 42% of the fires were maliciously set. A further 10% is still to be determined, some of which are also suspected to be the work of an arsonist. So the Guyana Fire Service is warning that arson can result in the loss of lives and properties, noting that those guilty will be prosecuted. A minor The director of the National Agricultural Research Institute, Dr. Hudo Humanot, foresees the expansion of the spice industry as early as 2009. This follows the assistance of an expert that was sent to Guyana through the Indian government to redevelop the spice industry here. Here's more in this story.
Dr. Humanot pointed out that 4 commodities that are grown locally have already been identified by the Indian expert. Those commodities include ginger, black pepper, turmeric, and nutmegs. According to Humanot, the aim is to produce these commodities on a larger scale, adding that opportunities for expansion are available.
I'm saying that before the end of this year, early next year, we will see expansion in production, not on a large scale because planting material is very important. We are trying to see if we can access other planting materials from other agencies as well at this point.
He added that the Institute has benefited enormously from the experts so far.
In terms of propagating spices is a little bit different generally from propagating other crops. So his expertise has been very, we have been benefiting tremendously from his expertise at this point in time, especially in propagating these spices. And some of them have to be grafted. For example, nutmegs generally take about, I think, 7 years before they come into production. And if you use grafting, you can come into production in less time, maybe 4 to 5 years.
The director also pointed out that Guyana imports close to $2 million in spices annually from countries like Egypt and Turkey. Ernestine Jagnarayan reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news.
Tourism Minister Maniram Prasad says the tourism sector needs new growth-oriented initiatives. This is in response to a recent comment made by the head of the private sector, Jerry Govaya, that it is crazy for the Guyana Tourism Authority to be supporting a new association of private tour operators. Nicole Telford has the details.
Minister Maniram Prasad says the fact that the comment published in the October 15 issue of the Kaichur newspaper has not been retracted is absurd.
I saw the article in Kaichur News that Captain Govaya was very disturbed that the government is encouraging the formation of a new organization in the tourism sector. I couldn't believe this. And somehow I can't understand how could he say something like this, because as president and chairman of the Private Sector Commission, he should be encouraging the formation of several private sector organizations.
The Linden Tourism Development Association is the disputed organization, and Minister Prasad said this is one of the most vibrant tour operators in the country.
As a former chairman of the Private Sector Commission and president of the Chamber of Commerce, and now as a government minister, this government will not get involved in banning any private sector organization.
The minister says he welcomes any song initiative that would attract and boost tourist travel to Guyana. Nicole Telford, NCN 6 o'clock news.
Chargé d'Affaires of the Cuban Embassy, Dr. Pedro Artiago, says Cuba will continue its cooperation with Guyana despite its recent hurricane attack. Dr. Artiago says the years of technical cooperation between the two countries have been the longest any country has received. Details from Monica Jones.
Guyana and Cuba established diplomatic relations on December 8, 1972. The cooperation between both countries covers diverse sectors including public health, agriculture, construction, scientific research, and foreign trade. And Cuban Embassy's charge d'affaires, Dr. Pedro Artiago, has pledged his government's continuous support.
Cuba was practically devastated by 2 hurricanes, and despite of that, we continue with the technical cooperation with all the countries, and we restart the mission Miracle in the Caribbean.
Dr. Pedro says despite recent hurricane attacks, the country has opened its door to phase 2 of the Mission Miracle program, offering eye surgery to patients. He says this will continue until the ophthalmologist center here is completed.
Guyanese has to be proud that in the near future can operate all kinds of eye diseases here in Guyana, and also in the program we hope that in the future Guyana could attend all the eye patients in the Caribbean. This is a program between Cuba and Guyana and Venezuela that will take place very, very soon.
Presently, some 176 Cuban doctors, nurses, and technicians are deployed throughout Guyana to boost the local health sector. Unica Jones, the 6 o'clock news.
The Mayor and City Council has expressed its concern about the apparent increase in the number of men urinating in public. The council says the situation exists mainly near the Berbice Park, where the stench from urine has become unbearable. The council is appealing to those who indulge in this unhealthy practice to stop and help the municipality in its program to restore Georgetown to its former healthy state.